Shalom and good day all, this is Tehillim29 back again for another manga I have recently read through. And these are some of my bigger manga titles that I have had to read through and catch up with. And it's actually nice to catch up with this particular series. And this one is called Fruits Basket. And I will give a rating for each volume. But before I do, I'd like to show you the covers. Some other manga that I recently read through. Manga that I'm going to have to get more of, and that is Blue Flag. That's the latest volume that I've presently got at the moment. I do need to collect the last 4 volumes. Now, this is something I actually enjoyed. I didn't think I would, but it really surprised me. And great job by the creators of the story. And last but not least, Perfect World. So we've got World Peace there. I do want to do something a little bit different, and I'm going to show you the other side of these covers in regards to the Fruits Basket. Alright, these are the other side of the Fruits Basket covers. And this is all done by Yen Press. I am going to have to work on getting the last 4 volumes to this series, plus the additional 4 volumes, which is called Another Fruits Basket, which sort of takes place after the events of the original Fruits Basket. To be honest, I can only remember the certain name of a few characters in this series. Reaching one down here. This is Hero down here. Hero-chan. There's, of course, the Soma family and their members. Of course, the one on the first volume is actually the main character. This is another character I remember. The one next to him on the left-hand side is a member of the Soma family. The one in volume 4 is Momiji, who's about the same age as one of the Soma brothers who are in the older school era. And I must admit, this is actually quite an interesting series. First things first, when I read through the first couple of chapters through Fruits Basket, it did take me a little while to get into the series. It wasn't until about, I think, chapters 4 onwards that I started feeling the flow of the series. And it was really good. And as you start to see the story develop, because with this story, there are a number of members that are affected by a curse. Now, this curse turns certain members into things in relation to the Chinese zodiac. Even though you do get to see some members that are connected to the zodiac, you don't see all of the zodiac members at present. You get to see a fair number of them, such as one's character is a cat or meant to be a tiger. Another one is a rabbit, which is Momiji. We've also got the rooster and a couple of other ones, the ox. And this is just what I remember. And for what it is, it's actually been a really interesting story. I liked where it's gone. Would it be considered a shoujo? I think it is meant to be a shoujo. And I know I've asked about this series even online on YouTube, and even some manga channels, and they said, yeah, definitely check out Fruits Basket, you might enjoy it. And okay, I did end up getting around to enjoying it, and a big thanks to my LCS as well, because this is where I got a fair amount of the titles from. last year actually, and I've finally gotten around to reading them. So when I left off in this series, being volume 8, there had been quite a lot happened, and there's a character that you encounter in the first volume, and it feels like it's starting to get ready to tie off the end of that story, and it connects to a character by the name of Akito, and there are many who are sort of like amongst the Zodiacs that don't like Akito because they sort of like see him as the cause of all their problems. And one of the things that oh yes, that's right, because one of the members also turns into a rat. I nearly forgot about that because it's something he says at the beginning, and that is, it's all the rat's fault. But we still haven't learned exactly what that means yet. We have been given hints, but not the overall reason why he's blaming the person whose zodiac is, or the thing that they change into is the rat. And that's pretty much where the series left off from. So I'll give the first 2 volumes, so volume 1 and volume 2. Volume 1, I'll give it a 7.5 out of 10 because it did take that little bit extra for me to get into the story. Volume 2, story started to improve, moving it into an 8. 3 and 4, they hold the 8. 5 and 6, moving into 8 to slowly 8.5 territory. 7 and 8, seeing it slowly moving to the conclusion of the series. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 for both of them. Now, this next one, Blue Flag, I know it's been a while since I've actually covered it on the channel, and it deals with a bit of like a freeway relationship, and also we've got Taichi here on the right hand side, plus his closest friend for quite a number of years. It too left on a cliffhanger, and I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. Now, before I jump into this middle one, I will do something. I'll jump towards Perfect World, because Perfect World is an interesting story that deals with sort of like someone who would be considered able-bodied dating someone who has been disabled. And a bit of a touchy subject came up in this volume of and that touchy subject was parents sort of feeling ashamed that their daughter is dating someone with a disability, feeling that they would be a burden not only on her daughter but also on the family. And yeah, and also growing up with a disability myself, I can sort of understand that, sort of like, yes, there are some people who do consider disability as being a burden, but in some cases it can also be a blessing, or a blessing in disguise. And this subject actually comes up in that, to which I'd like to give Volume 3 a rating of 8.5 out of 10. Moving into World Peace, I'll now share the blurb. Alright, Lucas Denson is the person you see on the cover. And I must admit, I was really surprised by this volume. And personally, I don't care that the person is a person of colour. I just want to point out, this story was amazing. It almost felt like a basketballer from I guess, the high Q, like people who enjoy high Q, sports era. Like, it felt like someone was taken from that. Or, no, high Q is volleyball. Slam dunk is another basketball one. So, slam dunk. Like, someone was taken from that world, put into this book, and this book sort of explores what if a basketballer was taken to another world. And in the process, he's got something that's round. It looks like the planet Earth. And he ends up using this planet Earth in some instances, sometimes like a weapon, but he's also trying to keep it with him at all times. He ends up meeting a lady along the way. I'm not saying who the lady is, but you do learn that she's connected to some form of royalty. That is sort of about the closest spoiler I will give. You end up meeting someone who's like a pacifist gunner, literally, a gunner that is a pacifist, who's also meant to be like a security guard for the person of royalty that he meets. Along the way, they also encounter someone by the name of Gaddy, spelled Gaddi, not Gaddy. Then, as the story continues, of course, you get to meet one of her parents. You find out that she's got like a step parent as well, and it's just a world of fun in its own right. You also encounter sort of like some of the government that's working in the day, but it moves past that and still continues the story in that. I won't give away any more spoilers because you might want to pick this up and check it out for yourself. A big thanks to Josh Tierney, who's working on this, and this is also through Viz Media or Viz Comics, and I enjoyed it. So, for first volume, I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. Well, until then, let's keep colourful and have yourself an awesome day.